Hi everyone, it's Debbie. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm a reseller. I've been reselling for 18 and a half years and I absolutely love it. And today I have a what sold video for you. I'm going to share 20 items that sold last month, which was February 2023. I sold a total of 134 items for a gross amount of $3,695.05. We will start on eBay because I have the most sales on eBay. I sold 77 items for a gross amount of $2,200.05. The first one was a pair of elephant bookends. When I was in Goodwill, they just stood out. I thought they were really neat looking, and I saw them. They had 1975. So I am always a sucker for vintage items, so I picked them up. I love them. Title, I put set of 2 vintage elephant bookends, cast metal gold, 1975. They also had on them SCC, and then I also put 70s. I had someone ask a question. Somehow I had left out one of the photos that I had taken that had the measurement with the height. He asked me, how tall are the elephants? I immediately went and grabbed the elephants, took a picture with the tape measure, and sent it to him saying, I'm sorry, I don't know how I left that photo out. This is how tall they measure. I am attaching a picture. Well, he purchased it. From when he asked the question, I responded within 3 minutes, he purchased it. So it really pays to answer questions quickly before that person moves on to something else. They sold for $71.26. My earnings were $44.60. I paid just $9.99 at my regular local Goodwill. They took 9 months and 25 days to sell, and my profit was $34.61. I shipped these in a medium flat rate box. Each elephant weighed 2 pounds. So depending on where they had gone in the country, they could have been very expensive to ship because packaged they were around 5 pounds. In my listing, I said that I was providing several different shipping options. Put your zip code in to see which one is the most reasonable for you because it can really vary depending on where you live. The next one was a recent pickup. I picked up this jersey at the Goodwill bins and I noticed it was really big, and sometimes jerseys can be worth some money. I don't always pick them up, but this one was big. It was a 4XL, and normally I have found that bigger sizes have more value. This was the Adidas NBA jersey, 4XL, Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm not sure if I pronounced his name correctly. I think it's like Serge Ibaka, number 9. It sold for $28.44. My earnings were $18.02. I paid just 81 cents at the Goodwill bins in Oklahoma City, and it took just 2 days to sell, which told me I might have been able to sell it for a little bit more, but I had a profit of $17.21, which I think is excellent, especially for just an 81-cent investment. Also had a little stain on it, so I just pointed it out, and it still sold quickly for a great profit. The next one I picked up that same day at the Goodwill bins. I came across a pile with a lot of vintage looking items, some really neat items. I think it was a raw donation because none of it had tags on it, and there were a lot of medical things, and I thought, oh, this was probably a doctor and his wife. There were lots of scrubs and just really some cool things. One thing was this vintage Subtract shapewear bodysuit, size 34D. I put the style name, it was styled 2545, all in one, girdle, beige, nude. It sold for $35.49 to someone in Chile, so it went international. My earnings were $18.20. I paid just 27 cents at the Goodwill bins in Oklahoma City. It took 10 days to sell, and my profit was $17.93. I love those items. When I can pay less than $1 and have a profit of $17, I feel like that's a home run for me. Sometimes I'll watch other people's videos, and for them that's not, and they live in areas where they find very expensive items, but for me a sale like that is really good. The next one also came from that pile of items. It was the Marina Recovery Compression Sleeves, women's size medium, and I put 3/4 sleeve arm. It sold for $42.82. My earnings were $30.28. I paid just 26 cents at the Goodwill bins in Oklahoma City. It took 5 days to sell, and my profit was $30.02. The next one is a U.S. Air Force men's jacket, size 42 regular. I put blue, dress coat, military uniform, and then there was a long number inside of it, and I put that because I saw a similar sold item. They put that in their title, so I thought that must be important to put in there. It sold for $59.53. My earnings were $35.99. I paid just $5.99 at a Goodwill in Oklahoma City. It took just 2 days to sell, and my profit was exactly $30. And the buyer had a 0 rating. I don't ever block 0 rated buyers because it's not a negative that they don't have a rating yet. It just means that they're new. Now, I did block somebody this just a couple days ago, and I had not blocked anybody in probably 5 or 6 years. It takes a lot for me to block them. What happened was someone bought a pair of my Free People James Chelsea boots that I had talked about in previous videos. They've been great sellers on Poshmark, but I sold one on eBay. They canceled. I sold another one. They sent me an offer for $75, which is on the very low end of what I would accept. I went ahead and accepted. Then they sent a message to me afterward asking me if they could pay like a week and a day later. And I thought, well, that's not really right. You should not agree to buy something and then afterwards ask if you can wait. But I was like, okay, no problem. Thank you so much for your purchase. I'll have them ready to ship next week. They sent another message to me that said, I already purchased them from somebody else that offered them for a lower price, so I'm not going to buy these unless you want to sell them to me for a lower amount. And I thought, they did not really purchase them. They're trying to just get me to go down lower, but I do not negotiate after the sale has already complete. And especially when they said they'd pay for a week in the first time, that just sounded like trouble to me. So I just canceled. I said something like, well, that's great. If you purchase them for a lower amount, I will cancel your order. I do not negotiate price after selling the item. I canceled and then I blocked them because they just seemed like trouble to me. And I thought if they did pay, that just feels like that one would be a return. So that is one instance in probably 5 years or more.
If ever you find you do need to block a buyer, just go to your account tab, then look over on the left-hand side under selling, and you will click on selling preferences. Then you will see an area where it shows blocked buyer list. You just click on that and enter the user's name in the box of the user that you want to block. I don't want to open mine up and show the buyer's name, but it's super easy and self-explanatory once you click on that. Just a quick reminder, if you're new and not subscribed, I'd love to have you back. Just hit the subscribe button down below, and if you hit the notification bell, it will let you know when I release new videos.
The next item was a White House black market dress, women's size 12. I put maxi halter style, black, white. This dress was so pretty, had this long piece down the front, and I wanted to show a little bit better. So I took a video clip and added that to my listing on both eBay and Poshmark. It did sell on eBay right away in just 3 days. My White House black market things have all of a sudden started selling really fast, so I'm picking them up a lot more. It sold for $42.75. My earnings were $25.54. I paid $8.99 at a regular Goodwill in Oklahoma City, just 3 days to sell, and my profit was $16.55. The next one is a pair of cut from the cloth jeans, plus size 16W. They were the Katie ankle, straight leg, crop distressed. I picked up 3 pairs that were identical, other than they were pre-owned. And when I do find pre-owned 3 of the same items, I take pictures of all 3. I take different measurements and everything because they could slightly vary. If it's something that's new with tags multiple quantity, I don't. But if it's pre-owned, I always list them individually and take individual pictures and measurements. 1 of them sold on eBay and 2 of them sold on Poshmark. This is the one on eBay. It sold for $30.64. My earnings were $17.25. I paid $8.76 at the Goodwill in Oklahoma City. It took just 5 days to sell, and my profit was $8.49. when I went into this Goodwill, it was funny, Jason wanted to go to it, and I was like, oh no, I've been there one other time. I never find anything good. Well, I'd only been one time, and just because that day I didn't find a lot, I had a negative attitude. I went immediately to the jeans section, the plus size, and I found so many jeans that they've already all sold. So it was so good. And so I told him I was so glad that I went, and I shouldn't have judged it by that one time, because this time was excellent. Next one was a pair of Torrid women's jeans, size 16, cropped, and they had some embroidery on the leg, and it said, "It's not love, I'm just," and then there was a torn knee, and so it's implied torn, and I thought that was so cute. And then I put the measurements, when I measured it by hand, the waist measured 36 and the inseam 25.5. They sold for $29.31. My earnings were $16.92. I paid $8.76 at that Goodwill in Oklahoma City. They sold the same day. I listed them at 9:13 a.m. and they sold at 6:35 p.m. And I wasn't sure about that embroidery and the hole in the leg, but I thought, they're Torrid, they're plus size, I know they'll sell. I just had no idea they would sell that fast. That same day in that same store, I also got a White House Black Market sweater, women's size extra large, and I put XL, and I also spell out extra large, dolman sleeves, and I put color block. It sold for $32.68. My earnings were $17.40. I paid $7.36 at the Goodwill in Oklahoma City. It took 20 days to sell, and my profit was $10.04. So I was really happy with the things I picked up that day. And I'll have a section of my Poshmark sales also of a few of the other items that I got that day. So I felt like I spent so much more that day because the items were between $5.99 and $8.76 each, which is a lot more than spending at the bins. But wow, everything turned within, I guess it was 20 days. So I love that. Next item was an item that there was an issue with. So I wanted to tell you about it and how I handled it, resolved it. Happy buyer, happy seller. If you watched a few videos ago, I sold a golf simulator that my husband had, and he upgraded to a new one, so he had me sell that golf simulator. Well, he had another golf simulator, so he had two golf simulators. He bought a new one that upgraded the other two. I sold one, it went through great. Now I just sold this second golf simulator that he had, and this is the one that there was an issue with. This is the OptiShop Infrared Golf Simulator Dancing Dog Swing Analysis plus a Pro Turf Mat. It sold for $243.10. My earnings would have been $161.89. Paid zero. He had this golf simulator before we even met. So we've been together 5 years now. So prior to 5 years, well, he had been using it. It worked just fine, perfectly. I sold it, sent it off to the guy. I received a message back from him, and he said some of the sensor lights were out, and they had worked prior to me selling them. It worked just fine. But like he was telling the truth, he sent a couple pictures of the lights gone out. And so I don't know if just jingling in the mail or something caused a couple of them to go out. And so he asked what we could do about it. So the shipping to him was like $38 or something like that. And then return shipping, I thought, oh gosh, I don't want to do that. He had said maybe he could repair it. And so I thought, well, it would be worth it to me to not get it back and to ask him if he would like a $100 refund, and then he would fix it. Plus, if he has to go through the effort of replacing the sensors, that's not fair. I don't want to offer him like $10 to go through that work. I thought $100 was a fair amount. He said that was more than fair. He thought he could fix it, and he gave me positive feedback. I sent the refund to him, and although I sent a refund of $100, you get a portion of your fees back. He received the $100 refund, but the part out of my pocket was $86.01. So instead of making a profit of $161.89, I ended up making a profit of $75.88. So I'm still happy with that. My husband was more than happy with that. He used it for years, had a great time with it, and that he got anything back on it was great. And I thought that was fair. The buyer is happy, so we worked it out. And a lot of times if something like that happens, if I feel like the person's lying, I will just tell them, okay, send it back. I have free returns. I will take the return. But this one, I felt like he was being honest, and I wanted to make it fair to him and to me, and I wanted to take into consideration how much I'd be out on shipping both ways. So it all worked out and everybody's happy. The next one is a Polo Ralph Lauren rugby shirt. It had a big pony, it was custom fit, men's large, navy red, and it had a toggle. And I remember many years ago, if you've watched some of my other videos, I talked about what I mainly sold was brand new with tags Polo Ralph Lauren men's clothing. And this one I probably had 50 or 100 of these. So it's so neat when I find those things that I might have sold 15 years ago and now I find them used. So I had to pick it up. It was very discolored in the collar, so I actually soaked it in OxyClean for about 24 hours. Put some OxyClean on it after that, scrubbed it with a toothbrush, and I almost got it out, but you could still see a little bit. So on the listing, I just put that there was some discoloration inside the collar, but I don't think you could see it when it was worn, and it still sold right away. It sold for $28.15. My earnings were $15.72. I paid just $1.09 at the Goodwill bins in Oklahoma City. It took 20 days to sell, and my profit was $14.63. Next, on Poshmark, I sold 54 items for $1,373. I will start with 4 pairs of jeans from that day that I went to the regular Goodwill store. This was the cut from the cloth jeans, plus size 16W, Katie ankle, straight leg, crop, distressed. So I had sold one on eBay and then the other 2 on Poshmark, and one of them, the buyer purchased the first one. She liked it, so she came back and purchased another one from me. So the first one she spent $20 on. I received back $16. I paid $8.76, and my profit was $7.24. It only took 4 days to sell. Then right when she got it, she purchased the next one. She had asked me about it, so I sent her a little bit of lower of an offer and discounted shipping. So I didn't make as much on this one, but she was a repeat buyer and I find value in that. So I wanted to give her a little bit better of a deal. I thought I would quickly show you how much I made on all 3 pairs of the cut from the cloth jeans combined. They sold for a gross amount of $69.64. My earnings were $45.77. My cost of goods for all 3 pairs combined was $26.28, and I made a profit of $19.49, which is not a lot, but it was so easy since they were identical. A super fast listing, and all 3 of them sold within 9 days, so I am really happy with that. Then the next one was another pair of Torrid jeans. This was Torrid women's jeans, plus size 18R, boyfriend straight leg vintage stretch. These sold for $28. My earnings were $22.40. I paid $8.76 at the Goodwill in Oklahoma City, and they only took 7 days to sell. Torrid, I love Torrid. And it's so funny. I was watching another video and someone was like, Torrid is not one of my favorite. I skip on it. They don't sell for very much. And they were just saying something about it not being great. And it's all in perspective. To me, I think Torrid is great. They sell fast. I think this is a great profit for me. It's so funny to me how I watch someone else and a brand that I think is great, they say, oh, I'm not going to pick that up. So each person has to decide what is right for them. And for me, Torrid sells quickly and I'm great with the profit that I get from it. Then the next one I was so excited about. I rarely find Madewell, and when I have, they've all been smaller sizes and they've sold fine, but not great. This is the first one that I felt was pretty great. This was Madewell The Plus Perfect Vintage Jean, size 16W, mom jeans, straight, and then the wash was Height, H-A-I-G-H-T, Height Wash Dark, size 16. They sold for $39. My earnings were $29.18. I paid $8.76. Again, that Goodwill in Oklahoma City. They took just 17 days to sell, and my profit was $20.42. So it's my best Madewell sale so far. The next one, oh, I love this dress. It reminds me of a dress that my mom had that I absolutely loved. This was the vintage 80s, especially yours, New York dress, size 9, velour, made in the USA, and it had the union tag. It was this teal blue color, had like a little ruffle around their waist and a little longer in the back and a belt, and that just reminds me so much of when I was little. And so I was excited when I found it, and I had to try it on and everything. It was so cute on, but I thought I don't have an occasion to wear it, so I'll sell it. It sold for $33. My earnings were $25.40. I paid just 75 cents at the Goodwill bins in Oklahoma City. It took 1 month and 2 days to sell, and my profit was $24.65. Then the next one is an item that I fell in love with, and I thought I'm not going to sell it for less than $100, but it has sat for a long time. So I got an offer for a lower amount, and I thought I need to go ahead and take it. It was the Pottery Barn Very Hungry Caterpillar Quilt. It sold for $50. My earnings were $40. I paid just $9.99 at my local Goodwill. I listed it on eBay on January 23rd, 2021. Then I saw it wasn't selling. I thought for sure it would sell on eBay, but it didn't. So I cross-listed it to Poshmark on July 24th, 2022. Still had not sold for a while, so finally on February 8th of 2023, I finally accepted an offer, and I made $30.01. And so when that offer came in, I thought I should not be greedy or stingy. It might be 2 years before another offer comes in. And I think I was emotionally attached to that one because I loved that book when I was a school teacher, when my kids were little, and I just thought it was so neat. So I got emotionally attached to that. But when I thought, okay, if I spend $9.99 on something, I can get back $40. Is that a good idea? Especially when I hadn't had an offer in that long. And the answer was yes, so I took it. The next one is a Free People item that has sold so well, so I thought I'd share. I have a lot of liquidation Free People items, so I don't want to just share those all the time. I want to share unique items, but this is a great one to be on the lookout for because it has been selling so fast. This was the Free People Anyway tee. It has a deep V-neck. It was teal. I put shirt, top, and then We the Free because it was from the We the Free line. I put style tags bohemian, cozy, and beach. And why I put beach was I saw someone else that had sold the same shirt for a good amount, had the keyword beach, so I thought I'm going to put that in there also. I purchased 6 of them. I listed them on the 16th of February. 1 sold on the 16th, 3 sold on the 17th, 1 sold on the 18th, and then the last one sold on the 19th. So they sold very quickly for a great amount. So since then, I've purchased other boxes that have this shirt in it because I know this is a good seller. And this one is middle of the road. I had some of them sell for higher, some of them sell for a little bit lower, but this one sold for $39. My earnings were $28.52. I paid just $12.92. This particular one sold the same day I listed it, so it was the first one that sold, and my profit was $15.60. So this is a great one to be on the lookout for. Then I had a viewer sale, so I wanted to tell Debbie, thank you so much for buying from me. Same name, different spelling. I spell mine D-E-B-B-I-E. She spells her name D-E-B-I, but thank you so much, Debbie. She messaged me and said there were 3 things that she was interested in, and she would like to know if she could purchase them from me. And she had emailed me. If she had sent a message to me, say through eBay, I would have felt bound to go through eBay because that's not fair to take a sale off of eBay, but since she emailed me, I thought it was perfectly fine to go ahead and sell it to her directly. So she paid me through PayPal, and she picked some of my favorite items. The first one was a pair of Free People Veil sandals. The next one was the mica layering cuff shirt in autumn combo, and in my last What Sold video, I was wearing this shirt in the second half of it in the dark green color. Love this shirt, and it's been a great seller also. And then the last one was a Free People bandeau. She paid me through PayPal, so I gave her like 20% off what I would have charged through eBay since I won't be paying any fees. So she paid $122. PayPal took $3.65. I paid $12.54 postage. I paid through ShipStation on PayPal. I received back $105.81, and my cost of goods was $55.81. So my profit was $50.52. I went to grab duplicates of the items that Debbie purchased from me to show you what she purchased because I just thought this one is so nice. It's probably not the same size, but this shirt has been a great seller. This is the Free People mica top. It has a retail value of $78, and this is what I love. The ends of the sleeves are this adorable fabric, and so I kept it in 2 colors. But this was one of the things that she purchased. The other one, you've probably seen this many times. I got so many of these, and they have just trickled out for the last couple years. And then Free People sandals are another thing that I love to buy. And these are just beautiful. They've almost all sold out. I only have one left. Hers, I think one left. I think hers was a tan color, but these are so pretty and the leather is so nice. I love selling any of the Free People shoes because they are just such nice quality and they've been great sellers. And again, all of my Free People comes from Fox Liquidation. Actually, first started purchasing them at Dillard's department store at the end of the season clearance. And so I purchased them there, and I love selling Free People because I like wearing it also. And then a few years ago, I found Fox Liquidation online and saw that I could purchase at Liquidation. It has been wonderful. So I highly recommend them. If you're interested in trying them out, I have a discount code, Debbie5. If you use that code, it will give you 5% off your order, and it'll give a little kickback to me too. So if you use that, I appreciate it very much. Thank you again, Debbie, so much for purchasing from me. I love the items that you got, and I hope that you do also. Then I wanted to show you another item that I had an issue with, and Poshmark came through for me. I've never had anything like this happen before, but these are the Free People Haven Thong Platform Sandals. And I'll just open it up and show them to you. But these are the sandals. They have this huge platform and then this leather top. Well, the person purchased them for $35. She received them, and then she sent a message to me and said that this part had come out, and she sent me a photo, and I told her, I am so sorry. I've never had a Free People item, any of the shoes, be defective before, but I know those things do happen, and I felt another case of that she was telling the truth. And so I asked her if she would contact Poshmark and see if she could start a dispute or something like that. I'll pop up our messages. She did. And I was so impressed. Poshmark said since she had already accepted the shoes and the funds had been released that they can't do a return, but she said we do have something in place for things like that. And they ended up refunding her money and let me keep my earnings too. There was no return necessary. And that is such a benefit. And I love both eBay and Poshmark, but on eBay, I would have gotten the return, I would have paid shipping both ways and been out the price of the shoes. I was so impressed with that. And yes, Poshmark has a little bit higher fees. I know I hear complaints sometimes about Poshmark charging 20% fees, but things like that, the no returns, or when something like that happens and they cover the buyer or the seller, makes me appreciate them very much and not mind those 20% fees at all. So to go over my numbers now, out of the 134 items that I sold, 56 were thrifted, 46 were liquidation, and 32 were retail arbitrage. My total gross sales were $3,695.05. I received back in the bank after any postage and fees $2,347.94. My total cost of goods was $747.09, and my profit was $1,600.85, which seems pretty low, but I've said this so many times, I'm putting in maybe 10 or 15 hours a week reselling. Probably in the last few weeks it's closer to the 10 hours a week. And so I'm pretty happy with that for the amount of time that I've been able to put in. I sold 77 of those items on eBay for $2,200.05. After fees and postage, I received back $1,196.74. My cost of goods was $278.10, and my profit was $918.64. On Poshmark, I sold 54 items for a gross amount of $1,373. After fees, I received back $1,045.99, and my cost of goods was $413.70. My profit was $632.29. I have been trying really hard to put the same amount of time in cross-listing things to both eBay and Poshmark, and eBay is doing better. It seems like some months though Poshmark can do better, some months eBay can do better. I didn't sell anything on Mercari in the month of February, but I have been concentrating a little more on eBay and Poshmark than on Mercari. So that is everything that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope everybody has a great day. Bye.